So what should I do with multifamily? Well, I want to be in it, but I don't think I want to be an operator. So I meet people like you by doing this show, and like Chris Larson up in Asheville, North Carolina. I don't know if you've met him, but and I could name many others. You probably know most of them, but I now
It's a
know
small
where
world.
I, huh?
I say,
Do what?
yeah, it is a small world.
Yeah, well, I know where I want to put my money. When I want to invest in multifamily, I'll just go invest in, one of your projects or one of those guys that I know, like, and trust.
Yeah, so I mean, what's interesting about that, right, is some of your listeners might be saying, well, why would you do that if you know that you can go buy another house or another flip and make more money by putting your money to work in your own business? Why would you go and invest in a passive investment like with Steven?
So now
Um,
you're
you
interviewing
know,
me.
yeah, well,
That's
and
okay. Give your answer to it.
to the point of, if you're in the fix and family space, it's important to recognize that it's a very transactional and very highly taxed business. And that's where we came from. So we know it well. We were paying, upwards of 50% between federal and state taxes in New Jersey. And, if someone taught me that as a portion of my investment portfolio, I could invest passively into some multifamily deals or some commercial deals and get massive tax benefits that would offset my income that I was making from my fix and flips, we would have probably poured a little bit more gasoline on the wealth building fire than we did in the last couple of years, because you can literally pay little to no taxes legally as a real estate professional in this space by putting some of your active income into passive deals like this. So if your listeners haven't read Tax Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright, I would emphatically suggest it, because there are ways that, I mean, for 10 years, right, we paid multiple seven figures in taxes in the fix and flip space. And if you're doing it, then you are too. And, there's ways to offset that through some of these, turning that active income into more passive income. So there's, there's faster ways to get to your goals, right? But you have to understand kind of what those are. And one of the biggest partners you have out of the gate is Uncle Sam. And if you can figure out a way to legally pay less in taxes so that you can invest into these types of deals and make passive gains on top of your active gains, it's a no-brainer.
I, you're either naturally articulate or you've practiced a way of saying these things, because you gave the answer I would give, except I guess I'm a little bit more homespun. I would have just said, yeah, but fixing and flipping is a lot of work. And when I quit working, so does the income. I would like to
Yeah,
put my money somewhere where the income's going to come on, because I don't want to do this forever.
right, exactly. And eventually, right, I mean, if you've read Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, eventually the last quadrant you want to land in is the investor quadrant, right? So what
Yes.
everybody says, I love being a real estate investor. I would argue that if you're an active fix and flipper or an active wholesaler, you're not a real estate investor, right? You're a business owner and you're operating a business in the real estate investment space, but
Yes.
you are not a real estate investor. The 197 people that have given me $40 million over the last 3 years to passively invest into the deals that I operate in, they are real estate investors,
Exactly.
right?
That's a
Now,
point I've
I
made many
also
times.
operate, but I also passively invest into these deals. So I am both an operator and a passive investor,
All right, we've got to
So
take a break, Stephen. This is Stephen Libman, and his website is integrityhg.com. Did I get that right? Okay.
yes, sir.
I've memorized my show notes. Okay. Integrityhg.com. And I want you to check it out after you finish listening to this episode,